I fear for myself and my son, who's come out as transgender at the age of 11.
So I was dating her, or him, and then
Whatever the fuck.
he was dating her because he wanted to date her while dating me.
Right, okay, got it. What's up, y'all? It's Ella Maulding, and today I am in my new home state of Texas at Dallas Pride. Let's go talk to some people here, and let's see how crazy these Dallas homosexuals are.
I am not condoning them. Tell the LGBT that a rainbow don't belong to them.
What is the overall significance of Pride Month, in your opinion?
Being out and being proud, pretty much letting everybody know that we are here, we're not going nowhere.
Right now, there's such a hate against being any sort of thing other than stereotypical straight.
I feel like every month should be representation, but this month especially.
It's about visibility and finding community and acceptance.
Acceptance, so more tolerance and acceptance, right? Got it.
I went to Catholic school in Utah, and just being able to be out here and express yourself, that's really important.
I don't know how important it is that it's a specific month as opposed to just being an identity.
Honestly, I feel like it's a space where people can really just outlandishly say, we are who we are, we're here to stay, and we're here to just love life.
You say like gay people and transgenders are oppressed?
I would definitely say that, especially right now.
I think it's just a celebration of inclusivity and like the diversity in people.
Right. Are you personally a part of the LGBTQ community?
No, my teenager, however, is.
Gotcha,
and
okay.
they're somewhere out there.
President Muserini of Uganda just signed one of the harshest anti-LGBTQ bills into law, providing the death penalty for aggravated homosexuality. What do you think about that?
That's crazy. It's one of those things that we just have to all come together and come through and get through it together. And stuff like this helps us. In a way, it's kind of really actually sad that people don't value us and see us as humans.
It's a ridiculous law, but it's their law nonetheless. You know, if they come here, they have to follow our laws. We ain't going to Uganda.
I think that we're trying to move 5 steps backwards every time we move a step forward. Let's go! Showing that much hate just proves that there's something wrong with your heart, not someone else's heart.
I hadn't heard of that one. It's disgusting and unacceptable in modern society.
That's extremely sad. It's absolutely awful what they're doing over there. It's unfortunately a byproduct of colonialism.
An attack on individuals' freedoms and individuals' liberties. I mean, even like Ted Cruz was against it. So if we look at it from our side, in our cultural perspective, it is horrendous.
Well, I mean, honestly, taking a life of someone just for being who they are and living life the way that they want to is kind of outlandish to begin with. I mean, there's no right way to say that that has a place in a governing society.
With Uganda being 99% black, do you think homophobia is a normal issue for black people in general?
Definitely. And I feel like in the black community, being any type of LGBT is very much looked down upon.
I love black people!
It's almost kind of like a disgrace.
This is the black race, and this is me.
I mean, it's very hard being African American living a trans life or an LGBT life in today's society.
Would you fear that, because Uganda's like 85% Christian, would you fear that laws like that could be coming to other Christian nations?
I'm personally trying to move to Canada at this moment, and my whole thing with the Canadian government to get legalization to move up there is that I fear for myself and my son, who's come out as transgender at the age of 11.
So at the age of 11, he came out as transgender. Okay.
I think it's definitely turning for the worse than what we were legalized in 2016, and now like just getting worse and worse each year. So I really hope we don't go that route, but I wouldn't rule it out, I guess.
Do you fear that laws like that could be coming to other Christian nations like America?
Well, I mean, America is a Christian nation in a lot of respects. Personally, I am concerned that it is possible to come to different nations, but I don't think it's likely to come to most of our Western societies.
I think that's a valid concern. There's a lot of laws that are currently being enacted, not just against the LGBTQ community, but as well as like just women in general as well. Kind of putting a limitation, I think, on human rights. I think it kind of like speaks to the general like white supremacist kind of patriarchal like culture that most of like Western civilization seems to have.
I mean, yeah, these things, hate spreads like wildfire, and fear spreads even faster.
So you would say that the Uganda bill was done out of hate?
Aggravated homosexuality resulting in the death penalty, yeah, it's hate and fear.
Yeah, absolutely. You see it in Florida already. That's already happening here. To say that it's going to be coming it's already coming.
I feel like it's getting to the point to where a lot of radical ideas and ideologies are taking a point of precedent that really creates a space where everyone's in danger.
We're a 99% black, 85% Christian nation. Do you fear that laws like that could be coming to other nations that are Christian, such as America?
Laws similar to that here in Texas.
Like what?
There's a law against drag, considering it sexual, where you can go to jail, is what I've heard.
Yeah, for minors. Drag shows cannot be shown to minors in the state of Texas. As of last week, Governor Abbott just signed that. Yep. What do y'all think about that?
I think it's absurd.
Your shirt, don't mess with trans kids.
Yeah.
Governor Greg Abbott just signed a law banning drag shows for minors. What do you think about that?
It should be up to the parents on their decision, what they want to do. If a parent feels that's appropriate, that's totally fine. We shouldn't restrict that kind of access.
Is anything that's deemed sexual in nature is now considered illegal? No, it's only if you're being sexual. And they're like, yeah, we are.
Right.
So.
Okay, well.
What do I think about it? I'm not particularly a fan. I think it should be up to the parents. The parents should be allowed to choose.
Ridiculous, uneducated, and it's stupid.
I think that's also terrible. I don't think very highly of Governor Abbott for a number of reasons, and a lot of it has to do with kind of, again, limitations to human rights, whether that's like access to education through like book bans, or again, access to healthcare when it comes to like abortion.
Would you ever consider like leaving the South just because of its overwhelming homophobia?
Yes.
I believe restricting a demographic from viewing art is inherently horrible.
Governor Greg Abbott of Texas just this past week signed a law prohibiting drag shows for minors. What do you think about that? And would you ever consider leaving the South because of just an overwhelming homophobia?
Actually, I do consider leaving the South, but then again, it doesn't help leaving when the situation is still at hand. You know what I'm saying?
It's not the government's business.
Do you believe the same with like kids getting gender reassignment surgery under 18?
Yeah,
Should be up to the parent?
Yeah, absolutely. If they've had the right conversations with them, they're absolutely, there's no reason for that.
Okay, and personally for you, when did you join the LGBTQ community? How'd you come out?
Well, I came out maybe a year and a half ago. I fall into that non-binary category because I don't identify with male or female, and so therefore the they-them identity. It's a tricky identity process. So I'm also autistic, and so a lot of it intervenes between the two different things. The identity I would go with neuroqueer, because my brain also doesn't work with the rest of society.
Hey, have you ever had any issues with mental health, being like having autism and?
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with mental health a lot throughout my life.
You say that coming out and being open in your pride helped you leave your depression and mental health issues?
In some ways, yes. In a lot of ways, it did.
Okay. I personally also have struggled with mental health, and although I'm not a part of the LGBTQ community, when I found my identity in Jesus Christ, I think that's really what pulled me out. I was at the lowest point I've ever been, and that really pulled me out, just putting my hope and my trust in Jesus Christ. I like to come and talk to the LGBTQ community, kind of just maybe starting a seed, you know, Bible and what Jesus has done for us. I mean, it's like breathtaking.
Personally, I grew up Christian, and I actually went away from Christ for a while. When I sort of grew up and began to learn myself a little bit more when I moved down to Texas, I found God a lot more in my life around me. I can actually see it acting.
And are y'all a couple or what?
No, we are a couple. All three of us. It's a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit about that. How does that work?
So one person dates this person, and then that person also dates this person with this person's consent.
Yeah, it's all consensual.
It's consensual polyamorous dating. So I was dating her, or him, and then they,
whatever the fuck.
he was dating her because he wanted to date her while dating me.
Right, okay, got it. And how long have y'all been a part of the LGBTQ community?
6 years?
6 years?
5 years? 4 years?
I want to say like 5-ish, yeah.
Okay. And what led you to your decision to, be a part of the LGBT community in general?
Well, I'm bi. I don't know. I just found myself, I don't really know what caused it. I just felt the same way about both genders.
I felt I wasn't fully a girl, and I was just like, huh.
About what age did you feel like that?
Probably 8. 8? Yeah.
Would you say that you find your identity, in the LGBTQ community, in your relationship, in being bisexual or whichever you are, would you say you can find your identity in that?
Yes. I think it's good way to find out who you are, not who other people think you are.
And have any of you ever struggled with mental health in the past?
Yes.
Multiple. Multiple years.
Okay, awesome. So I personally also struggle with mental health. Although I'm not a part of the LGBTQ community, I did find my identity in Jesus Christ. And he transformed my life, you know, putting my hope and my trust and my faith in him.
I call her saying, hey, I am not condoning them. Tell the LGBT that a rainbow don't belong to them. Kids get indoctrinated watching Nickelodeon.